elaborated it quickly. And now today we are going to start with connectivity options. Am I right? Can anybody confirm? We are
Yes,
supposed
ma'am.
to start this one, yes. So let us start with the connectivity options now. Okay, let me start. The topic is connectivity option. It means we are going for hybrid connectivity. Okay, so at a high level overview, what we are going to do today, how if you want to connect multiple VPCs within your company. Okay, so what is the solution? If you want to connect multiple VPCs, okay. Now these VPCs can belong to same region, okay. So it can be in same region, it can be in different region, it can be in single account, okay, even single account, or it can be different account as well, even different availability zones, not to mention, okay. So maybe this is in availability zone A, this is in availability zone B of the same region. Otherwise it can be in, one can be in Mumbai region, one can be in Singapore region, fine, in same account again. And then it can be totally different account. Let us say this is my account and this is yours account, okay. So all these connectivity options are there between the VPCs. So definitely it will be the interesting option, and we are going to see how to establish this connectivity. Okay, so let me start. So here we are going to talk about NAT gateway, NAT instance, as well as VPC peering. So these options are there. Okay, I think let me quickly show you the demonstration, then we will come here. Okay, so I will show both the demonstration and then we will come here. So I am in my VPC here. So in my network, there are two VPCs, Pune VPC as well as Delhi VPC. Okay. I want to connect these VPCs. That is first thing I'm going to show you. But before that, let me quickly talk about the NAT instance as well. Now this is Pune VPC. And in this Pune VPC, there is public subnet and there is private subnet. So we can create instances in public, we can create instances in private as well. But folks, we have seen if the private instance needs to go to the internet, there must be NAT gateway here, right? NAT gateway option we have seen earlier as well. I have shown you the demonstration. NAT gateway helps the EC2 instances in the private subnet to get them connected to the internet. But this is outbound connection. Nobody can enter through this connection over here, right? So it is not for outbound. It is not for inbound. It is just for outbound. Fine, NAT gateway. But we have also seen NAT gateway is a paid option. It is not free. It is not free. So if I create NAT gateway, I have to pay for it. First thing. Second thing, NAT gateway, second option I will say for NAT gateway is we can have NAT instance here. NAT instance. Now, what is the difference? NAT instance is just the virtual machine. It is just the EC2 instance having the NAT software installed on it. And that is why it total depends which instance type you are taking. If I'm just taking T2.micro probably, okay, then accordingly I will be get charged for it. So in short, it is just the free option. NAT instance is a free option. We are not paying for it, but it is serving the same purpose. Instances in the private subnet will go to the outside internet using this NAT instance as well. Then the difference is that why it is paid, why it is free. I will say for NAT instance, the use case is that if you are having less number of EC2 instances in the private subnet, which are going to get connected to the internet. Now, let us say you are having hundreds of instances, right? And all those 100 instances needs to frequently access the internet. Then probably that instance is not a good choice for you. Okay. So what is the use case? If you are having less number of EC2 instances that rarely going to connect to the internet. Okay. So it is not the frequent one. Okay, but it is rarely. So maybe sometimes or once or twice in a day, they will need to go to the internet. Okay, so if that is the case, then yes, NAT instance is a good solution for you. So folks, now let us start Delhi VPC. Okay, because you are from Delhi batch. So let me use Delhi VPC. Let's quickly see what exactly it is. How many subnets are there in Delhi? So let me just search for Delhi only. And if I go to subnet, now you can see there are two subnet, Delhi private subnet and Delhi public subnet. So as per this now, my Delhi VPC, and there are two subnets. One is public and one is private. Fine. What about internet gateway? Internet gateway has to be there and it is attached as well, attached to Delhi VPC. Okay, so internet gateway is also there. Next, route table. Now, we can see there are three route table. One is the main route table for the VPC. One is the route table for private subnet. And one is the route table for the public subnet. So if I just go to the first one, main route table, route, and we can see the route is 10.0.0.0/16 staying local. Why? Because Delhi VPC is having the CIDR of that, 10.0.0.0/16. Fine. So next route table is the public subnet route table. So here the route to the internet gateway has to be there. So 10.0.0.0 is local, but 0.0 is going to the internet gateway. And to the private subnet, as usual, it is just inheriting the route table of the main VPC. So if I just go to the private subnet route table, it is again showing me the same thing, which is there for the default. Perfect. So this is everything as it is. It is the default one. Okay. Now what we will do, I will quickly launch one EC2 instance in public subnet and one in private subnet. And then I will also launch the NAT instance. And then I will show you the connectivity to the internet. Okay. So this is what I am going to do now. So it will be very quick one. If you want, if you are not getting anything, please let me know. Definitely, I am explaining what I'm doing. Initially, I'm just going to launch the instance. So let me go to EC2 dashboard. So first demonstration I'm giving is for NAT instance. And once that is done, I will even talk about the VPC peering. I'm going to show you the demonstration of VPC peering as well. Let us say this is Delhi VPC public instance, public subnet instance in Delhi VPC. Instances T2.micro. Let me select my key and network setting edit. I will select Delhi VPC. I will select public subnet. Yes, I want auto assign to be enabled. Then let me see whether I am having the Delhi security group. No. So what I will do, I will create a security group and let me just name it as Delhi VPC security group, because security groups are VPC specific. So this is the name of my security group, and what I will do, I will open SSH. I will open multiple groups now. I will even open ICMP today because I am going to check the connectivity with the internet using ICMP protocol. So let me use ICMP. Let me use RDP as well. Although not required right now, but let me have HTTP as well. So I'm opening 4 ports today. Okay, folks. So which ports are open? Because it is Linux, by default SSH, ICMP, RDP, and HTTP. Fine, that is understood. So let the security group be as it is, every storage be as it is. Okay, nothing special in the advanced. Let me launch instance. Great. Similarly, I will launch one in Delhi VPC private subnet. So launch. Again, Linux. I will use the same security group which we have just created, Delhi VPC. Before that, it is Delhi VPC. And this time it is private subnet. Okay. I don't want public IP address here. I will select the existing security group and I will just select the one which we have just created. Rest everything as it is. And let me launch. With. Now, what is my next step? My next step is I have created here, I have created here. Now I will establish SSH connection with this instance because this is already having the public IP address. Okay, internet gateway has route to this subnet. So from my laptop, I will do this one. But to this instance, it does not have public IP address, right? So I will establish SSH connection from this instance using the private IP. This is known as Bashan host, right? This is known as Bashan host. This is known as jump host. So using that, I will establish. And for that, I will use putty. So what I will do, I'll go to putty and I will use Pageant for that because Pageant is the software which is used to establish that connection. We have seen it earlier as well, but just have a quick revision because anyway, these two modules, jump, advanced jump start and jump start are just the one which we use for revision as well. Okay, so I will just add my key here that I have used to establish the connection, and that was the 11th me key. Let me add it. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so this key has been added. Let me close it. Now I will go to the putty software. Initially, I will establish connection with the public instance, and for that, I will need the IP address. and it already has the public IP address. If at all you are not getting something, please let me know. अगर कहीं भी लग रहा है समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तो पूछो. So this is the public IP address. I will go to SSH, auth, and I will not select private key file here. Rather, I will select allow agent forwarding. Okay, so that is the feature which is needed. It is known as key forwarding. It is known as, I will say, agent forwarding as well. So what I have done, SSH, auth, I have selected allow agent forwarding. And now I will use the EC2-user. Okay, now I got connected to the public instance. See, verified. What is the IP address? 10.0.1.43. 10.0.1.43. So using this public IP address, public instance, I got connected and it is showing me the connection has been established. Now, because this instance, I got connected using this. So I will first check whether it has internet connectivity. And yes, it has to be, because this one is having the internet gateway attached, right? We have seen, and even we have seen the root. So this instance will be connected to the internet as well. Okay, let us verify. If I simply give ping command, and that is the reason I have used ICMP protocol as well, ping www. Let us say google.com. And yes, I'm getting reply. I'm getting reply from Google. Fine. Now, folks, what I will do, I will connect to the second instance. Okay. So now what I will do, using that agent forwarding feature, I will establish connection to this. Okay. The key has already been inserted in the putty. Now what I will do, I will simply use the command SSH. Okay. And private IP address of this instance. Let me just use. Just a minute. Okay. So proceeding. So from this instance, I'm going to establish the connection with the private instance, and the private instance is already having this IP address. Let me copy it. Let me go to my putty, and the command is SSH. User, as we know, it is EC2-user, and at the rate, I will just type private IP address. Okay. So SSH EC2-user at the rate private IP address of my instance, because that instance does not have the public IP address. Yes. And I got connected. See, This time it is showing me 10.0.2.147, right? 10.0.2.247. And now we know this subnet does not have any route to the internet. So if I use the command ping www.google.com, I should not get any response because there is no internet connectivity here, right? There is no internet connectivity. I'm not getting any reply. Now what we are doing, we are going to install the NAT instance here. Now the next step. I hope till here everybody is very clear what we have done. Now what I will do, here I will install NAT instance. And once that NAT instance has been installed here, we will modify the root table here. And for that root table, what we will do, we will use the root as 0.0.0.0/0 should go to NAT instance, just like the NAT gateway. Okay. But one more thing we are going to do, and that is a disable source destination check. Okay. Disable source destination check has to be the crucial thing here. So once the source destination check is disabled, then it will go to the internet. Okay, that we are going to do. But now how to do that NAT instance? So let it be as it is. So once the NAT instance is up and running, you will see automatically the reply will come to me. Okay. Now what I will do, I will go to my VPC. Sorry, I will go to launch instance because I'm not doing the NAT gateway. I will simply go to NAT instance and I will just use the software which is there in the community AMI. Okay, so let me just name it. Let us say it is NAT instance. As I told you, it is just the EC2 instance. Okay, NAT instance. And instead of using this one, what I will do, I will go over here. I will go to community AMI. And in community AMI, I will just search NAT instance. Okay. So let me use this one. Otherwise, NAT HVM will also do for me. Okay, I can select this. I can select this as well. All these are NAT instances. These are the AMIs in which the NAT software is already installed. Okay, so what I will do, I will select this. So I think this is the first time we are taking any image from the community AMI. Okay, let it be t2.micro because it is instance. I will just select this one. And now it should be in the public subnet of the Delhi VPC, right? So let me go to edit. First of all, I will select Delhi VPC. Then I will select public subnet. Okay. I want IP address public enable. Security group. I will just select the same security group here. Let it be as it is. And let me launch this. Okay. So what we have done? One is already there. But now this NAT instance has been created. Now I will change the root table entry of this. So let me go to view instances. This is my NAT instance. Okay, it is coming up. See. Okay. Now I will go to VPC. Subnet. And Delhi private subnet. Root table. Edit. Sorry. Not here. Root table. Delhi public subnet. Sorry. Private subnet root table. root, edit root. Now here, the only root is 10.0.0.0/16 is going to local. Now I will add root, and now this will be for 0.0.0.0, and this will be NAT instance. Okay, it is not internet gateway, it is NAT instance. Now it is showing me this NAT instance. It is already having that software installed. Let me use this and save changes. Done. So once that is done, one more thing is required. Okay, and that is source destination check has to be disabled. So if I go to the subnet, not from here, I have to go to here. Okay, I need to go to the EC2 instances. So folks, this is very important. Sometimes you get questions on this. So I need to go here, action, and then networking, and change source destination check. This has to be stopped. Why? Why I have done this? Let me explain you. So see, in your VPC, it is very important whenever the root table has been created and the VPC has been created, unless and until the EC2 instance is either the source or the destination of the traffic. It should be either the source of traffic creation or it should be the destination. Otherwise, the traffic will not reach to that instance. Either the traffic should be generated from this or the traffic should reach this. But now in this NAT instance, nothing is happening, right? So now we are not going to connect any we are not directly connecting to this, neither the traffic will be the destination or source from this. Okay, and that is the reason it is just acting as a proxy. What it will be doing, it will just accept the traffic from here and it will forward the traffic here. Okay, so it is just the proxy sitting in between. It is neither the source of the traffic. Now in this case, the source is this and destination is this. So that is the reason we need to disable that destination and source. Otherwise, it will not work. Okay, so see, this is very crucial. Sometimes you get questions around this particular setting only. Fine, folks. That is done. And now if I just go here, see, immediately it has started giving me reply as well. See, it is giving me reply for my Google. Okay, so as soon as the NAT instance has been created, I got getting the reply. Now the internet connectivity is here. So folks, this is the NAT instance. Okay, this is the first lab I wanted to show you. Any question here? Everything clear? If you are having any doubt, please let me know. So this is your NAT instance, just like the NAT gateway. Okay, we did the same thing in NAT gateway, except it was not the EC2 instance first thing. And second thing, we had not done anything for source destination check because in fact, it was a device. It was not the computer. It was not the EC2 instance, right? Fine. Now, what I will do, I will go for the next lab. And in that lab, let us first try to understand. Now we are having this Delhi VPC. I also have Pune VPC. Now the CIDRs are different. CIDRs are different. It is 10.0.0.0/16 and it is 192.168.0.0/60. Fine. Both are having one public, one private subnet. Now Delhi VPC, we just know that these are the one. Okay. And now what we want the EC2 instance from this private subnet should get connected to this. Now you must be saying it is very simple. We are already having the internet gateway because see, if otherwise VPCs will not communicate with each other. One VPC to communicate with another VPC without having any peering connection, we need internet gateway. We need internet connection basically. So this connection is not a big deal. This connection is not a big deal because both these belongs to the public subnet and both are having the public IP address. So it is not at all a big deal. But what about this? What about this? What about this as well? Okay, so here you will have a problem. Now, in this case, right now, it is not a problem because we are having a NAT instance, right? So now what this EC2 instance can do, it can go to the NAT instance because it is having the internet connection now, and then it can go here. Yes, it is possible. It is possible. But now we are doing something else. I am not going to have that NAT instance. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to terminate that. Okay, let me terminate this first. Second thing, I'm just going to remove the root table entry as well. So if I just go to the VPC again and root table, and that is Delhi VPC private subnet root table, I will just go to root, edit root, and this root I'm going to remove. Okay. So because of this only I was going to the internet. Fine. Perfect. Now again, there is no internet connectivity. See. Now very soon you will see. If I use the same command again, now see. Now it is not giving me any reply. Why? Now there is no route to the internet. Again, it got stuck. Fine. I want this one only. I want this one only. Now, folks, what is my requirement? I want this private instance to which I have already connected here, right? I've already connected to this using this one. Fine. But now I want it to get connected to the private instance which will be there in the Pune VPC private subnet without using NAT. Without using NAT gateway, without using NAT instance, without using even internet gateway. Why? Why? What is the requirement? Now just think of the scenario. Now both these VPCs are in AWS, right? This is in AWS. This is in AWS. And maybe these both are created in your account only. Then what you want? You do not want to use the public internet. We do not want to use public internet here. Maybe the data which is going to get transferred is very crucial. Okay, it is very sensitive and your compliance is restricting you to go to the internet. Okay, so we want something which should be in the Amazon's private network only. So using the private IP address of one instance and private IP address of another instance. Remember, now there is no NAT gateway, there is no NAT instance. So I am going to show you this peering connection. Okay, so now let me do that. So for that, first of what I will do, I will quickly check my Pune VPC. What is the setting in Pune VPC? And then we will proceed. Just like we did earlier. Okay. So this is my Pune VPC. CIDR is 192.168.0.0/16. If I go to subnets, Pune public subnet, Pune private subnet. If I go to root table, again Pune VPC, main root table. If I just go here and go to root, it is showing me 192.168.0.0/16 staying local. Perfect. If I go to Pune VPC public subnet and root again, so I'm getting 0.0.0.0 going to internet gateway. That is again fine. Now, if I go to private subnet, again root. So again, there is no route to the internet, right? So now I will first launch EC2 instance just in the private subnet. I don't want to launch any instance in the public subnet as well. Okay. So what I will do, I will quickly launch the EC2 instance in the private subnet only. So let me go to EC2 dashboard, launch instance. Okay, now this time it is Pune VPC private subnet instance. Okay, so definitely I'm creating it in the private subnet. So let me select Amazon Linux and Linux 2. Perfect. Let it be t2.micro. Let me use my key pair. In the network setting, I will select Pune VPC. In the subnet, I will select private subnet. SAD is 192.168.2.0/20. Auto assign, yes, disable because it is a private subnet. I don't want any public IP address. Security group, let me see whether there is any Pune VPC security. Yes, I will select this one. Again, the same thing. Everything is open there. Let me launch the instance. Wave instance. So this is the Pune VPC private subnet, which is showing me pending. Very quickly, it will go to running state. Okay. Before that, we are having this Delhi VPC private subnet instance, right? Delhi VPC private subnet instance. What is the IP address of this instance? 10.0.2.147. Okay, 10.0.2.47. And what is the IP address of this instance? It is 192.168.2.144. Now, I have already connected to this Delhi VPC private subnet, right? So, this is our Delhi VPC private subnet. Having the IP address, you can even see it is 10.0.2.147. So, what I will do, I will just try to ping, okay, ping with this IP address, 192.168.2.11. Definitely, I will not get any reply because, these two VPCs are isolated. They don't have any connectivity between them. These are just the isolated network, just like your home network and your, I will say, neighbor's home network. Okay, so these are two isolated ones. This is my home network maybe, and this is my neighbor's home network. There is no connectivity at all, right? So my computer will not be able to communicate with my neighbor's computer, something like this, just the analogy. Okay, now what I will do, these are VPCs definitely. Now we will establish this peering connection between these VPCs. And once the peering connection is established, again we need to modify the root table entry. Okay, so now we will say that either it can be for the entire VPC or the private subnet, but we are literally interested in the private only because we have created EC2 instances here. So we will go to the root table entry, and in this VPC, because this is my Delhi and this is my Pune. Delhi's IP address is 10.0.0.0/16 and Pune's is 192.168.0.0/16. So what I will mention here, a root table, that if at all anybody from this VPC or this private subnet needs to go to 192.168.0.0/16, they should go to VPC peering connection that we are going to create initially. And similarly, in this VPC, I will add a root in the root table entry that if you want to go to 10.0.0.0/16, you should go to the VPC peering table only. No, Lucky. Overlapping will not do. It is the mandatory requirement that if you are going for the peering connection, okay, if you are want to establish a peering connection between two VPCs, आपके IP addresses की जो range है वो totally different होनी चाहिए. अगर दोनों भी VPCs 10.0.0.0/16 ले रहे हैं, then there cannot be the VPC peering connection between them. That is the very important and foremost requirement. Okay, so that is the reason purposely मैंने वो लिया है, and when we are going to go to the theory part, we are definitely going to go for that. Okay, so now folks, this is what. Now what I will do, I will establish a peering connection. Okay, VPCs and instances are ready. We are having two VPCs, we are having even the instances, and just now I have shown you that there is no connectivity. From my Delhi instance, they cannot communicate with the Pune instance. Remember, 192.168 is the range of Pune VPC. And what is the IP address of Delhi? It is something 10 dot. Okay, so it is not possible. Now let us go for the peering connection. So peering connection is just like what we will do, see now. Something first of all. So right now, just assume that I am in Delhi VPC and Pune VPC is somebody else VPC. Okay, maybe yours, maybe some different account. So now I am going to send you a request, peering request. So this is me and this is you. Okay, so just like the friend's request in Facebook, right? So I'm going to send a peering request to Pune. Now Pune has to accept my request. So unless and until Pune VPC accepts my peering request, this connection cannot be established. Okay, this connection cannot be established. So because in this case, both the Delhi and Pune belongs to me only. Okay, दोनों भी VPCs मेरे ही है, मेरे ही account के हैं. So I will send the request from Delhi and I will accept it from the Pune. But अगर ये एक account के नहीं है, ये different account के है, ये मेरा अकाउंट है, ये आपका अकाउंट है, मैं आपको पियरिंग रिक्वेस्ट भेज रही हूँ. सो अनलेस एंड अंटिल यू एक्सेप्ट this connection cannot be established. Okay, so let us start now. Now I will go to VPC dashboard once again. I think I'm already there. I'm already in VPC and now I will scroll down and I will go to peering connection. Okay, peering connection. Create peering connection. Now let us name this peering connection. Let us say it is Delhi, Pune, peers, something. Okay, Delhi, Pune, peers. Fine. Select the local VPC. Means जहां से request जा रहा है, वो VPC का नाम select करो. So अभी हमने decide किया है कि Delhi is mine. So I will select Delhi. Okay. So Delhi is the requester. Delhi request कर रहा है. Okay. And what is the CIDR of Delhi? 10.0.0.0/16. Fine. Now select another VPC to peer with. किसके साथ peer बनाना है? So जो VPC के साथ peer बनाना है, क्या वो आपके ही अकाउंट में है या फिर किसी और के अकाउंट में है? If वो किसी और के अकाउंट में है, तो आप मुझे उसका अकाउंट आईडी भी यहाँ देना पड़ेगा. ओके, सो अगर लेटर से किसी पार्टिसिपेंट का VPC है ट्रेनिंग में और मुझे पियरिंग कनेक्शन देना है, तो अनलेस एंड अंटिल यू शेयर योर अकाउंट आईडी हियर, वो पियरिंग कनेक्शन नहीं बनेगा. ओके, बट इन माय केस व्हाट आई हैव डिसाइडेड, आई विल यूज माय अकाउंट ओनली. So the second VPC is again in my account and again it is in the same region. Again it is possible, अगर मेरे ही अकाउंट में लेटर से सिंगापुर रीजन या मुंबई रीजन में भी VPC बनाया होता तो भी चलता था. Okay, so it is in this region only and now I will select Pune VPC. Now this is the acceptor. This is the acceptor. Delhi is the requester and this is the acceptor. ID is 192.168.0.0/16. Let me, and tag is already there. Delhi, Pune, peers maybe. Let me create this connection. Fine. Okay. Now ये हो चुका है. Now what I will be doing? I will be going to Pune VPC now. Okay. And if I go to action. Okay. Let me go to peering once again. If I go to action, I have to accept this request. See, I am free to reject this request as well. Okay, but I am going to accept it. Now ये because ये दोनों भी मेरे ही अकाउंट में है, that's why this is available here. Otherwise ये दूसरे अकाउंट का होता था, तो आपको peering में जाके ये request accept करना होता. So it is showing me pending acceptance. Let me accept it first. Okay, now it is showing me active. ठीक है, अभी कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश हो चुका है दिल्ली और पुणे के बीच में और रिक्वेस्ट भी एक्सेप्ट हो चुका है. नाउ द लास्ट थिंग रिमेनिंग इज हमें रूट टेबल में अभी ये रूट ऐड करना है. ओके, सो व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल गो टू VPC again. Initially I will go to Delhi VPC. Let us go step by step. In Delhi VPC I will go to subnet. रूट टेबल में भी रूट टेबल, दिल्ली प्राइवेट सबनेट रूट टेबल, रूट, एडिट रूट एंड ऐड. नाउ यहाँ रूट में ऐड करने वाली हूँ 192.168.0.0/16. दैट इज द साइडर ऑफ माय पुणे वीपीसी। और अगर ये नेटवर्क पे जाना है तो आपको क्या यूज करना है, peering connection. Okay, so I will select peering connection. So this is the Delhi Pune peers. Okay,
Ma'am, that
and
is the cider of peering connection as well.
where
That is the cider of peering connection as well.
साइडर, peering connection को साइडर नहीं रहेगा। peering connection is just the connectivity. peering
नो मैम,
connection
वो आखिरी में जब आपने peering connection बनाया तो जो उसमें cider जो लिखा आया था ये वही cider था।
जस्ट होल्ड ना, मैं फिर से जाती हूँ एक बार। आई एम नॉट गेटिंग योर क्वेश्चन, सो सी मैं फिर से जाती हूँ। वहां कहाँ गई थी मैं, दिल्ली प्राइवेट सबनेट रूट टेबल, रूट, एडिट रूट। लेट मी डिलीट दिस। ओके, आई विल डू इट अगेन। सी, ये जो साइडर है ये दिल्ली का साइडर, गॉट इट। और अभी मैं रूट कहाँ ऐड कर रही हूँ, पुणे के लिए कर रही हूँ। सो दैट इज द रीजन आई एम गिविंग दिस साइडर एज पुणे साइडर। ये पुणे वीपीसी का साइडर है, मैं दिल्ली से कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश कर रही हूँ बिकॉज आई एम सपोजिंग दैट दिल्ली इज माई नेटवर्क, राइट। सो ये अभी किया, लेकिन जब ये मुझे पूछ रहा है कि कहाँ से जाना है, सो आई विल सिलेक्ट पियरिंग कनेक्शन। और ये पियरिंग कनेक्शन जो है दोनों के बीच में बनाया है, यहाँ कुछ साइडर नहीं है। दिस इज द, आई विल से आईडी ऑफ द पियरिंग कनेक्शन, दिस इज द आईडी ऑफ द पियरिंग कनेक्शन। सो दिल्ली से पुणे के लिए जाने के लिए आपको ये रूट लेना है, दैट इज इन सिंपल वर्ड। आपको कौन सा रूट लेना है, ये रूट जो हमने ऑलरेडी एस्टेब्लिश किया है। इज इट क्लियर?
यस मैम।
ओके, अगर नहीं समझा पूछो। ओके, सो अभी मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, अभी ये तो ये रूट बनाया, अभी फिर से ये वन वे है, ये वन वे है अभी। सो अभी हमने क्या किया है, दिल्ली को बताया है हमने कि आपको अगर पुणे में जाना है तो ये दिल्ली पुणे रूट ले लो। सिमिलरली अभी मुझे पुणे को भी बताना पड़ेगा। अभी मैं पुणे के प्राइवेट सबनेट में जाऊंगी और पुणे को बताऊंगी कि अगर आपको 10.0.0.0/16 पे जाना है, बिकॉज यू नो पुणे इज 192.168.0.0/16। सो पुणे के रूट टेबल में मैं बताऊंगी कि अगर आपको अभी यहाँ जाना है तो फिर से आपको यही पियर रूट लेना है। कौन सा पियर रूट, दिल्ली पुणे पियरिंग। ओके, सो लेट अस डू दैट। So now I will go to root tables once again, but this time I will change my VPC. First of all, I will go to Pune VPC, and in Pune VPC, private subnet root table, private subnet root table. I'll go there. Roots, edit root. सो अभी एक ही रूट है, ये पुणे का साइडर है। अभी हम रूट ऐड कर रहे हैं दिल्ली के लिए। सो 10.0.0.0/16। अगर यहां जाना है तो फिर से आपको क्या यूज करना है, पियरिंग कनेक्शन। और ये क्यों यहाँ रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा है, क्योंकि रिक्वेस्टर और एक्सेप्टर दोनों के पास ये रूट है, एक्सेप्टर ने एक्सेप्ट किया है इसलिए ये दिख रहा है। ओके, एंड नाउ लेट मी save changes. And now if I go here, okay, हम एक काम और करते हैं। What I will do, I'll go to root table, पुणे VPC, मेन रूट टेबल, दिल्ली VPC मेन रूट टेबल। ओके, उसे पहले एडिट करती हूँ। हम मेन रूट टेबल भी एक बार एडिट करके देखें। रूट, एडिट रूट, बिकॉज द थिंग इज दैट हमने डायरेक्ट VPC का साइडर दिया है। ओके, सो इट शुड बी गिवन हियर 16, सेम थिंग। लेकिन अभी मैं मेन रूट टेबल में कर रही हूँ. इनिशियली मैंने प्राइवेट में किया था, प्राइवेट सबनेट में किया था. सो लेट मी डू दिस. ओके, सो अभी मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ, दिल्ली को बता रही हूँ फिर से सेम स्टोरी कि पुणे जाना है तो, बट दिस इज फॉर द एंटायर VPC नाउ, इट इज नॉट जस्ट फॉर द प्राइवेट सबनेट. ओके, सिमिलरली आई विल गो टू पुणे VPC वंस अगेन. और पुणे VPC के मेन रूट टेबल को मैं अभी, मेन रूट टेबल पुणे VPC, आई विल गो देयर, रूट, एडिट रूट, एंड यहां अभी रूट डाल रही हूं कि अगर आपको 10.0.0.0/16 जाना है, दैट इज दिल्ली, तो आपको जाना है पियरिंग कनेक्शन के थ्रू, एंड अगेन दिस पियरिंग कनेक्शन एंड सेव चेंज. Let me establish connection once again. I will establish with the Delhi. See, lab is very lengthy. और ये इतना डिफिकल्ट भी नहीं है अगर समझ में ठीक ठीक से आता है हम क्या कर रहे हैं. Okay, so again SSH एंड प्राइवेट इंस्टेंस का IP एड्रेस, दिल्ली का ही प्राइवेट का, which is this one. This time we know there is no internet connectivity. So if I use ping www.google.com, it will not work. And neither we want that connectivity now, right? Because हम private network से ही दूसरे VPC में जा रहे हैं. So now, if I use this command from 2.47, that is the private instance, let me just find out the IP address of the private instance in Pune once. Okay. So if I'm missing something, for that, I will just go to the Pune VPC private subnet instance, and it is 192.168.2.114. I guess I'm right. No, it is not giving me reply, but as per me, I have done everything perfectly. Let us check. Let me just go to VPC first. I think I did everything perfectly, but still there is some problem. Let me go to see, this is the requester, this is the acceptor. We have not used any DNS name actually, so that will not make much difference. Let me check one possibility is there, and I got the answer maybe. The possibility is that in the Pune VPC security group, probably ICMP protocol might not be there. Okay, so that could be the reason, and that's why my ping is getting blocked there. Okay, so एक बार वो check कर लेते. So what I will do, I will go to the EC2 instance, Pune VPC private instance, and if I go to security, this is the security group. Let me open it. I just want to check whether ICMP is there or not, because I'm not getting reply to ping, right? Okay, let me add ICMP here. That could be the reason. Okay, क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Because maybe वहां ICMP port ही open नहीं है. That could be the reason. Now if I go here and see, that was the reason. Okay, so जैसे ही ICMP port open किया है, I am getting the reply. So you should also think about the troubleshooting. Okay, कहाँ से ये नहीं हो सकता है? See, so as soon as I have opened that port, I'm getting reply. There is no internet connection, nothing, and now this connectivity has been established. Is it clear what it happened?
Yes.
Good. लेकिन अभी देखना है कुछ डिटेल्स इसके. Now folks, very important is that this peering connection is one to one. Now what do you mean by one to one connection? Now अभी तो हमने सिर्फ दिल्ली और पुणे के बीच में ही बनाया है. Let us say I am having multiple VPCs in my account. One is Delhi, one is Pune, one is Bangalore, one is West Bengal, one is Mumbai. Okay, what not. और ये सभी VPCs जो है वो एक दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेट करना चाहते हैं. सो फिर क्या करना पड़ता है? सबके बीच में कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश करना पड़ता है. ओके, and so forth. So it becomes very complex. It is one to one connection. हर एक VPC का दूसरे VPC के साथ कनेक्शन होना जरूरी है. Now let us take this example. हमने दिल्ली और पुणे में अभी एस्टेब्लिश किया. Let us say I am having one more VPC, Bangalore. So दिल्ली और पुणे में ऑलरेडी कनेक्शन है, और let us say पुणे. ओके, दिल्ली और पुणे में ऑलरेडी कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश किया है, और अभी हमने सेम पुणे और बैंगलोर में भी किया है. ओके, सो दिल्ली और पुणे में एक कनेक्शन, और पुणे और बैंगलोर में दूसरा कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश किया. सो नाउ सी, पुणे दोनों के लिए कॉमन है, राइट? पुणे इज कॉमन फॉर दिल्ली एज वेल एज बैंगलोर. सो इसका मतलब ऐसा है क्या कि ये कनेक्शन ऐसा एस्टेब्लिश हो जाएगा बैंगलोर और दिल्ली के बीच में? नो, दिस इज नोन एज अ ट्रांजिटिव कनेक्शन. सो ट्रांजिटिविटी इज नॉट सपोर्टेड. इसका मतलब ऐसे हुआ ना, दोस्त का दोस्त तो दोस्त बन गया. ओके, दिल्ली का दोस्त है पुणे और बैंगलोर का भी दोस्त है पुणे. सो फिर अल्टीमेटली दिल्ली और बैंगलोर दोस्त हो जाते हैं. सो ये फंडा इधर नहीं चलता है. ओके, सो दिस विल नॉट वर्क हियर. सो यहाँ आपको ये दोनों के बीच में भी पियरिंग कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश करना पड़ता है. सो दिस इज नोन एज पियरिंग कनेक्शंस आर नॉट ट्रांजिटिव. ओके, वो एक से दूसरे में ट्रांजिट नहीं होते हैं. दे आर नॉट ट्रांजिटिव. So if I am having, let us say 4 VPCs, so ये सब के बीच में कनेक्शन बनाना पड़ेगा. एंड दैट इज द रीजन. अभी थोड़ा सोचो कि 100 VPCs है और 100 के 100 का VPC पेयरिंग बनाना है, सो कितना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाएगा, राइट? सो वी नीड टू डू एवरीथिंग मैन्युअली और ये बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेशंस हो जाता है. सो व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन दैट वी आर गोइंग टू सी नाउ. ओके, सो उसका देखना है, लेकिन बिफोर दैट what I will do, I will take you to the presentation. So connect private subnet to the internet. So अभी हमने ये देखा है, अगर प्राइवेट सबनेट को इंटरनेट को कनेक्शन देना है तो कौन सा सर्विसेज यूज करना चाहिए? NAT गेटवे, NAT इंस्टेंस. कनेक्ट वन VPC टू अनदर VPC, कौन सा कनेक्शन यूज करना है? VPC peering. और कौन सा सर्विस कैटेगरी आप यूज करते हैं वो यहां मेंशन किया है. आपके VPC को आपको एक्सटर्नल नेटवर्क के साथ कनेक्ट करना है. नाउ ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, ये भी हमने ऑलरेडी किया है पहले, ओके, नॉट प्रैक्टिकली बट पढ़ा है बहुत बार. कॉर्पोरेट डेटा सेंटर, ये आपका ऑफिस प्रीमाइसेस है और ये आपका VPC है. सो ये कनेक्शन बनाने के लिए हमारे पास दो ऑप्शन है. आइदर हम VPN एस्टेब्लिश कर सकते हैं या हम डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश कर सकते हैं. So this is connecting your VPC to the outside network. Now that outside network can be your corporate data center as well. See, connect VPC to external network. So site to site VPN, otherwise direct connect as well as cloud hub as well. Okay, cloud hub. We will see this technology today. Then connect a VPC to AWS services without leaving the AWS network. अभी आपको AWS का नेटवर्क छोड़ना नहीं है, ओके, और फिर आपको ये कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश करना है. सो उसके लिए हम यूज करते हैं AWS प्राइवेट लिंक और VPC गेटवे एंड पॉइंट, दैट वी आर गोइंग टू सी. ओके, ये भी हमें देखना है अभी VPC गेटवे एंड पॉइंट क्या होता है. एंड कनेक्ट VPC टू मल्टीपल VPC. द लास्ट एग्जाम्पल और द लास्ट वन आई हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट 100 VPCs है. अभी आपके पास 100 VPCs है जो एक दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेट करना है. So without using the peering connection, what we can do? We can use something which is known as a transit gateway. So all these things we are going to see now. Okay. So first, network address translation. So I think there is no need. अभी ये देखा है हमने. NAT gateway कुछ दिन पहले देखा था, but equivalent to that I have shown you NAT instance today. Okay. Okay. NAT gateway and also NAT instance, which is typically the EC2 instance that runs NAT software. NAT gateways are recommended. See, recommended option is NAT gateway only. They are recommended. Why? Because they provide better availability and bandwidth than NAT instances. Actually, means अभी हमें भी बताया गया है कि don't talk about the NAT instance. Not in this training definitely, but the corporate training which I deliver. So उसमें हम NAT instance की बात ही नहीं करते आजकल. Okay, we simply ignore this. हम इसके बारे में किसी को बताते ही नहीं है, because Amazon just trust NAT gateway nowadays. Anyway, but the option is there. It is included, so it is worth. I was trying to tell you. Even I have shown you the demonstration as well. So I want folks, see, अभी थोड़ा जल्दी करना है हमें because the time is less. I want everybody to appear for your Cloud Practitioner Essential exam before 17th or at least on 17th September. 17th September. You know what is going to happen after 17th September? After 17th September, the Cloud Practitioner Essential exam. Right now we are running version 1. So that version will change to version 2. Okay, so अभी हमारे पास जो प्रैक्टिस के लिए क्वेश्चंस है वो नहीं चलेंगे. That is the reason I want everyone to go for this exam. So definitely Bina will take initiative. Bina will talk about this. She will do everything for you. I'm not the right person to talk about the vouchers and the schedule, everything. She will definitely coordinate with you, but be prepared. Okay, so just keep in mind that you are just going to appear for your exam very soon. Okay, so that is the reason abhi main kya kar rahi hu. I want to, and we know there are lots of topics to be completed yet. Okay, this just we came to know कि एक एग्जाम एक्सपायर होने वाला है अभी. सो बिफोर इट गेट एक्सपायर हमें ये कोर्स भी कंप्लीट करना है और हमें एग्जाम्स भी देने, राइट? सो वी विल बी लिटिल बिट डूइंग इट फास्टर नाउ, और बहुत सारी चीजें अभी आपको पढ़ के लेनी है. डेफिनेटली आई विल बी एक्सप्लेनिंग एवरीथिंग, लेकिन अभी जो पेस से हम जा रहे थे, जितना शांति से हर एक चीज के डीप डीप में जाके सब सोच रहे थे, सो प्रोबेबली इट विल नॉट वर्क नाउ. ओके, बिकॉज सी आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि हमारा सेशन खत्म हो जाएगा, ऐसा बिल्कुल ही नहीं है. आई विल बी देयर टू हेल्प यू. द ओनली थिंग इज दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डू दिस एग्जाम लिटिल बिट क्विकर. ओके, एंड दैट इज द रीजन आई एम स्पीडिंग अप नाउ. सो कुछ चीजें जो मैं डिटेल में पढ़ती थी, जो बहुत सारे इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक थे, I went and I have read the notes and even I have elaborated lots of things for you. So अभी आपको ये इनिशिएटिव लेना है. ओके ओके, सो नेट गेटवे अभी हमने देखा. नेट गेटवे अभी नहीं देखा, रादर नेट इंस्टेंस देखा है. बट दीज आर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ नेट गेटवे. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, नेट गेटवे इज अ मैनेज्ड सर्विस, लेकिन नेट इंस्टेंस इज नॉट अ मैनेज्ड सर्विस, राइट? सो इफ somebody asks you what are the differences between NAT gateway and NAT instance and why you should go for NAT gateway. So first of all, NAT gateway is a managed service, and according to AWS good practices, best practices, you should always go for managed service rather than doing everything. See, अभी NAT instance में दूसरा प्रॉब्लम क्या आएगा? अभी जो हमने NAT instance बनाया था, right? ये NAT instance मैंने बनाया था, and just imagine that this is your production environment. So ये हमारा NAT instance था, and this is my production environment. अभी लेट अस से कुछ वजह से ये टर्मिनेट हो जाता है, तो क्या होगा? डेफिनेटली ऑल माय प्राइवेट इंस्टेंसेस विल नॉट गेट इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी, राइट? सो ये प्रोडक्शन एनवायरनमेंट में डेफिनेटली नहीं चलेगा. सो अगर ये सिचुएशन आपको अवॉइड करनी है, तो फिर आपको एक और नेट इंस्टेंस बनाना पड़ेगा, राइट? एंड टू हैव दैट रिडंडेंसी एंड एवरीथिंग, मे बी आप दूसरे सबनेट में उसे रखोगे, बिकॉज वी वांट दैट हाई अवेलेबिलिटी. सो सी, दैट विल बी टेकन केयर बाय यू. एंड अगर आप नेट गेटवे जा रहे हो, सो बिकॉज इट इज अ मैनेज्ड सर्विस, आपको उसके बारे में सोचने की जरूरत नहीं. ओके, the high availability, the bandwidth, the speed, everything will be taken care by AWS. Second important difference, NAT gateway is paid. The reason is that it is using elastic IP address. लेकिन NAT instance जो है वो normal public IP address ही use करता है. It is not using the paid one. It supports this protocol TCP, UDP as well as ICMP as well. So public subnet where the कहाँ रखना है NAT gateway को? Public subnet. Okay, where the gateway will reside and it will have elastic IP address, and then आपको root table को भी change करना है. So not today, but I have shown you this earlier. Okay, so this is how your NAT gateway will root. This is the private subnet, databases, NAT gateway, right? So here you need to have this root in the private subnet. 0.0.0.0 should go to NAT gateway, and we did it earlier. You please read this one, huh? और फिर आज हमने ये peering देखा. So I have used two VPCs. One was 192.168.0.0/16 and one was 10.0.0.0/16. So this was my Delhi VPC and this was my Pune VPC. And this is what we did. Not to mention we did this as well, right? So ये connectivity भी हमने बनाया. The only problem was that मेरा ping चल नहीं रहा था ICMP. Otherwise it was done. Okay, it was done. The only thing was that we were testing whether the connectivity was there or not using the ping command, and ping के लिए ICMP port open होना जरूरी है. Otherwise we did perfectly fine. So if you look at this diagram now, you can relate कि हमने ये सभी कुछ किया है आज. Okay. So these are the links they have given. Actually, in Cloud Practitioner Essential exam, you will get very less questions on this peering and on this topic, I will say. Okay, all this advanced topic. You will be getting tested on the foundational level topics. So see, creating a peering connection. Owner of the requester VPC sends the connection request. Owner of the acceptor accepts the request. Both owners add a rule to the root table. Yes, we did it. If necessary, owner adjusts security group rules. And that was coincidentally, okay, I did the same thing today. Security group rules, and if necessary, owners enable domain name system host name resolution for the VPC connection. Although it was not crucial in our case because we were just testing it with the IP address, but yes, if you are accessing something using the name, maybe, okay, So in that case, you need to take care of that. If you have seen properly, I had tried that option today. Fine. It can be done using the command as well. AWS EC2 create VPC peering connection, and you have to provide the VPC ID of the destination VPC and the peer ID as well. जो peering connection हम बनाते हैं उसका भी आपको ID देना पड़ता है. Okay, so this is the peering ID and this is the destination ID and this is from the source VPC. We will talk about this cloud formation for VPC peering when we are actually going to go for cloud formation. Okay, cloud formation हमारा topic है और उसमें हमें बहुत कुछ चीजें करनी है. So right now it will be difficult for you to understand what exactly it is. In cloud formation, we actually write the templates. The templates can be in JSON or it can be in YAML. So you can see in this. So in short, here उन्होंने सिर्फ ये example दिया है कि ये जो peering connection अभी आपको बनाना है वो कोड से कोड के थ्रू बनाना है. जस्ट लाइक अ स्क्रिप्ट. अभी आपने स्क्रिप्ट ही बनाया है कि एक वीपीसी को दूसरे वीपीसी के साथ कनेक्ट करना है, उनका रीजन क्या है और पीयर का आईडी क्या है. ओके, सो पीयर रोल आईडी एंड सो फोर्थ. ओके, सो फॉरगेट अबाउट इट राइट नाउ एटलीस्ट, बिकॉज क्लाउड फॉर्मेशन हमने नहीं किया है. व्हाट आर द लिमिटेशंस ऑफ पीयरिंग? नो ओवरलैपिंग आईपी एड्रेस रेंजेस. यस, सो ये जो वीपीसी पीयरिंग देखो, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये तीनों भी वीपीसी डिफरेंट आईपी एड्रेस रेंज यूज कर रहे हैं. ओके, and you can see VPC A is peering with B and A is peering with C, but using that we cannot have VPC B peer with C. No peering is transitive, no transitive peering. So ये आपको अलग से establish करना पड़ेगा. No NAT routing between VPCs, no DNS lookup resolution of private IP addresses, and support cross referencing security groups across region. So see, अगर ये एक ही I will say VPC में we can refer the security groups across the region. Okay, so एक region के through दूसरे region अगर जाता है, so in that case we have to mention the security group reference ID as well. Okay, don't go in that much detail, but yes, this is work. कैसे peering connection बनाया है. Now, direct connect plus VPN. I think there is no need to talk about this because we talk it multiple times. आपका corporate data center है और आपका VPC है, right? So let me quickly take you to that slide. So आप जल्दी से recall करोगे उसे. So if I just this one. ये आपका कॉर्पोरेट डेटा सेंटर है, ये आपका वीपीसी है. सो अभी आपको इसे कनेक्ट करना है. व्हाट इज द ऑप्शन? फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज वीपीएन. व्हाट इज द एडवांटेज ऑफ यूजिंग वीपीएन? एडवांटेज इज दैट आपको कुछ अलग से पे नहीं करना पड़ रहा है, आप इंटरनेट के ऊपर ही जा रहे हो. ओके, एंड इसमें आपको सिक्योरिटी भी मिल रहा है. आईपीसेक प्रोटोकॉल इज यूज्ड फॉर एनक्रिप्शन. सो ये जो कनेक्शन है ऑलरेडी एनक्रिप्टेड रहेगा. ओके, दिस इज वन ऑप्शन. लेकिन यहाँ आपको क्या चाहिए? वर्चुअल प्राइवेट गेटवे. यहाँ आपको चाहिए कस्टमर गेटवे. दिस इज नोन एज CGW, दिस इज नोन एज VGW. ये दो एंड पॉइंट कनेक्शन है जिसके थ्रू ये कनेक्शन बन रहा है. ओके, देन वी आर हैविंग द ऑप्शन ऑफ डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट. Dedicated connection between your corporate data center and VPC. It is a dedicated one. You are not using any public internet here. Because you are not using any public internet, automatically आपको security मिल रहा है, right? It is the private connection. Internet is the public connectivity, but ये private मिल रहा है आपको. Nobody is sharing this link. It is just for you, right? It is just for you, and that's why you get the security as well. But this is not the encrypted connection. Again, यहाँ आपको VGW and CGW चाहिए, but it is not the encrypted. If you want to this encryption as well, you can use VPN on top of this direct connectors. Okay, so ये हमने already पढ़ा है. Okay, that was just a quick revision what we did earlier. So this is what they are trying about. So this is the corporate data center and this is your VPC, and this is the direct connect. Okay. So again, we can establish the VPN connection over the direct connect as they have telling you. And here we need the gateway VGW, and this is the CGW. Now this is Cloud Hub. Now see folks. Now these are multiple corporate data center. अभी ये मल्टीपल कॉर्पोरेट डेटा सेंटर है आपके कंपनी के. लेट अस से ये पुणे ऑफिस है, ये मुंबई ऑफिस है, ये बैंगलोर ऑफिस है, और ये आपका वीपीसी है. नाउ सभी ऑफिस लोकेशन से आपको वीपीसी के साथ कनेक्ट करना है. ओके. सो इन दैट केस व्हाट वी डू, अदरवाइज अगर क्लाउड हब नहीं है तो आपको 1-to-1 कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश करना पड़ेगा. वन फ्रॉम पुणे टू वीपीसी, बैंगलोर टू वीपीसी, मुंबई टू वीपीसी एटसेट्रा. ओके. लेकिन इफ यू आर यूजिंग क्लाउड हब, देन इट विल बी समथिंग विच इज द सेंट्रलाइज्ड वन. सो आपको सिर्फ एक ही कनेक्शन, इट इज जस्ट एक्टिंग लाइक अ हब नाउ. सो ये 3 कनेक्शन यहाँ टर्मिनेट हो जाएंगे और ये कनेक्शन यहाँ आएगा. Then VPN connection. We can establish the VPN connection 1-to-1. Okay, so just forget about that Cloud Hub now. Cloud Hub की बात नहीं है अब. So यहाँ क्या हो रहा है कि corporate data center से VPN connection establish किया जा रहा है. Again आपके पास multiple corporate data centers है. So हर एक से individually ये connection आ रहा है because you are not using Cloud Hub now. Okay, Cloud Hub अगर नहीं है तो आपको ऐसा 1-to-1 कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश करना पड़ेगा. ओके. बट क्लाउड हब प्रोवाइड्स अ सिंपल हब एंड स्पोक मॉडल टू efficiently implement a solution. Let us see. So this is the, okay, now they have directly came to the end point as well. Fine. So that we have already seen, right? अगर आप क्लाउड हब यूज कर रहे हैं, then you just need a central cloud hub लोकेशन जहां आपके पूरे वीपीएन कनेक्शंस जो है वो टर्मिनेट हो रहे हैं, एंड इट विल जस्ट एक्ट लाइक अ हब एंड स्पोक मॉडल. नाउ VPC endpoint. Okay, now let me just quickly talk about this VPC endpoint first, and then we will go for the demonstration as well. I am going to show you the demonstration as well. Okay folks, now try to understand. This is my VPC and this is my S3 bucket. There is one EC2 instance here and one EC2 instance here. There is one application running here. There is one application running here. Now this application needs to access the S3 bucket, and this application again needs to access the S3 bucket. Okay, but you know S3 is a global service. S3 is not in your VPC, right? So if you want to access that S3, first of all, you must have the internet connection. And using that internet connection only, you will be able to access the S3 bucket. Now, if I just go over here, okay, so this one. Okay, so let me just go back. Now you already know that I am connected to my private subnet. और यहाँ इंटरनेट है ही नहीं. If I use www, sorry, use www.google.com, I will not get any response because I know for sure that there is no internet connection. But if I go to my public subnet instance, now this is my public subnet 10.0.1.43. So if I use ping www.google.com, I'm getting the reply. Why? Because it is having the connection to the internet. Okay, fine. Now what I want to show you, now here I want to use the command AWS S3ls. Now it is going to ask me to provide the credential. So instead of providing the credential, what I can do, I can even attach the role to the EC2 instance. Now what I will do, instead of providing my credential, I will go to the good option, because we know providing your EC2 your access key ID and secret access key is not a good one, right? Instead, you can go for the role. So what I will do now, I will go to the EC2 instance. I will just go to the EC2 instance. I will go to Delhi VPC public instance, and I will go to action, security, modify IAM role. I'm already having the role. Okay, so let me use the EC2 S3 role. EC2 S3 role. So this role is already having the permission for the S3 bucket. So let me use that. Similarly, what I will do, I will go to Delhi VPC private subnet instance as well, और इसको भी मैं वो role attach कर रही हूँ. Okay, because from both the thing I need to access, because you know what this role is. Role is service to service access. If EC2 instance wants to access the S3 bucket, so आपको दो चीजें करनी पड़ेगी. या तो ये EC2 इंस्टेंस में आप आपकी एक्सेस की आईडी एंड सीक्रेट एक्सेस की दे दो वो यूजर के जिसे ऑलरेडी S3 की परमिशन है. Okay, otherwise you attach the role to this instance. So what I'm doing now, I'm attaching the role. Role is already been created earlier, so I'm not creating it again. So I will just go to action, security, modify M role, or same role यहाँ EC2 S3 role. I'm again attaching this as well. Now both these EC2 instances are having permission to access the S3 bucket, but permission होने से कुछ नहीं होगा. Okay. Second thing is that ये इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी भी तो होना चाहिए ना. सो अभी पब्लिक इंस्टेंस को क्या होगा, पब्लिक इंस्टेंस आराम से S3 बकेट को एक्सेस करेगा, बिकॉज नाउ रोल इज ऑल्सो देयर एंड आई विल से इंटरनेट कनेक्शन इज ऑल्सो देयर. लेकिन अभी यहाँ रोल तो है बट इंटरनेट कनेक्शन नहीं है. सो आइदर फिर से मुझे नैट इंस्टेंस या नैट गेटवे लगाना पड़ेगा और फिर ये पब्लिक इंस्टेंस से जाएगा. ओके, सो लेट अस सी नाउ. So I have already attached the role and I am back to my public instance. Now, if I simply use AWS S3 LS, see, it is showing me my buckets. Okay. अभी उसने मुझे role के बारे में कुछ नहीं बोला. It is just showing me all the bucket because role is already attached and internet connection is also there. Okay. Because of this, this is possible. Now, again, I will go to the second instance. This one, SSH EC2-user at 10.0.2.47. This is my private subnet. 2 is my private subnet. Let me go there. Okay. यहां से फिर से अभी मैं कमांड देती हूँ AWS S3 LS. Now I know now it is not the problem of permission. Initially वो मुझे बोल रहा था आप configure कमांड यूज करके credentials दे दो. अभी वो भी नहीं बोलेगा, अभी कुछ भी नहीं बोलेगा. The reason is that to establish this connection, internet is required. And this instance does not have any internet connection. One option मैंने बताया कि मैं यहाँ S3 NAT instance कर सकती हूँ, लेकिन अभी मुझे कुछ भी नहीं करना है. Now the use case is something like this, folks. अभी मैं एक customer हूँ AWS की, okay, and in my AWS I have created S3 as well as my VPC. Okay, दोनों भी लेटर से एक ही रीजन में है, लेकिन फिर भी मुझे इंटरनेट क्यों यूज करना पड़ रहा है S3 बकेट एक्सेस करने के लिए. ओके, सो डेफिनेटली आई विल कंप्लेंट AWS की हम आपके रिसोर्सेस यूज कर रहे हैं. ओके, एंड व्हाई आर यू आस्किंग अस टू हैव द इंटरनेट कनेक्शन. हमें नहीं चाहिए इंटरनेट कनेक्शन. द रीजन इज दैट इंटरनेट कनेक्शन इज नॉट सिक्योर. जो डेटा हमारे एप्लीकेशन S3 से रिट्रीव कर रहे हैं और ले रहे हैं लेटर से, वो बहुत ही कॉन्फिडेंशियल है एंड फिर हमें वो इंटरनेट के थ्रू तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं एक्सेस करना है. Then give us some solution. Okay, we do not want to go to the internet. Yes, AWS has given you the solution after customer's request. Okay, and what was the solution? You know, initially it came up with gateway. It came up with gateway endpoint. Gateway endpoint. So gateway endpoint क्या कर रहा है कि विदाउट यू यूजिंग द इंटरनेट कनेक्शन, अगर आपने गेटवे एंड पॉइंट बनाया और VPC के साथ लगा दिया वो गेटवे एंड पॉइंट, सो वेदर इट इज योर पब्लिक और वेदर इट इज योर प्राइवेट इंस्टेंस, वो अभी सिर्फ ये गेटवे एंड पॉइंट से लेके S3 पे जाएंगे. एंड ये जो नेटवर्क है ये Amazon का नेटवर्क है. ओके, Amazon's own ऑप्टिकल ट्रांसमिशन नेटवर्क, फाइबर ऑप्टिक नेटवर्क. सो यहाँ इंटरनेट अभी बीच में नहीं आ रहा. यू गॉट द कॉन्सेप्ट? यू गॉट द कॉन्सेप्ट? So this is what the gateway endpoints are. लेकिन ये gateway endpoints जो है वो सिर्फ दो सर्विसेज के लिए है. One is S3 and other is DynamoDB. Okay. And second thing, ये कनेक्शन बनाने के बाद, now let us say the use case is something like this. अभी ये इंस्टेंस यहाँ है, ये यहाँ है, and we do not want to use the internet, right? And यहाँ S3 bucket है and यहाँ DynamoDB है, because you know S3 and DynamoDB are ग्लोबल सर्विसेज. ये आपके VPC के अंदर नहीं होते हैं. तो अभी ये इंस्टेंस को लेटर से दोनों भी इंस्टेंस को S3 पे एक्सेस करना है और दोनों भी इंस्टेंस को DynamoDB पे एक्सेस करना है. सो इन दैट केस आई नीड टू क्रिएट टू एंड पॉइंट. वन एंड पॉइंट विल बी फॉर S3 एंड अदर इज फॉर DynamoDB. सो ये एंड पॉइंट यूज करके दोनों भी S3 एक्सेस करेंगे और ये एंड पॉइंट यूज करके दोनों भी डायनामोडीबी। सो सी 2 सेपरेट एंड पॉइंट्स भी बनाने पड़ेंगे और सिर्फ 2 ही सर्विसेज यहाँ सपोर्ट करते हैं। ओके, सो दीज आर द लिमिटेशंस ऑफ गेटवे एंड पॉइंट। इनिशियली एडब्ल्यूएस ने गेटवे एंड पॉइंट बनाए एंड देन इट केम टू नो कि बाकी के सर्विस भी कस्टमर्स चाहते हैं, एसएनएस, एसक्यूएस, किनेसिस and whatnot. There are multiple services which needs to be accessed from VPC और जब तक इंटरनेट कनेक्शन नहीं है आप वो उसे एक्सेस नहीं कर सकते। सो फिर ये बाकी सर्विसेज के लिए AWS came up with interface endpoint. Okay, it came up with interface endpoint. Now इसके limitations कुछ भी नहीं है, I will say. So using the interface endpoint, first of all interface endpoint जो है वो VPC के अंदर बनाया जाता है and using the same interface endpoint all your instances will be able to access all the services including S3 as well. S3, DynamoDB and बाकी के जो सर्विस है वो सभी। Okay, एंड सेकेंडली इट इज इनसाइड और एक ही एंड पॉइंट के थ्रू ये सब हो रहा है। सो दिस इज द आई विल से नेक्स्ट जनरेशन एंड पॉइंट। इसमें बहुत कुछ एडवांस्ड फीचर है। सेकेंडली बिकॉज ये इनसाइड है तो इसका दूसरा फायदा क्या हो रहा है, बिकॉज दिस इंटरफेस एंड पॉइंट ये अभी वीपीसी के बाहर नहीं है। वीपीसी गेटवे एंड पॉइंट वीपीसी के बाहर बैठता था, इंटरनेट गेटवे और आई विल से किसके जैसा, इंटरनेट गेटवे एंड वर्चुअल प्राइवेट गेटवे के जैसा। ओके, इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट ना। ये इंटरफेस एंड पॉइंट अंदर बैठता है हमारे नैट गेटवे या नैट इंस्टेंस के जैसा। ओके, एंड इसकी वजह से क्या हो रहा है कि अगर आपका डेटा सेंटर है, आपके कॉर्पोरेट डेटा सेंटर है, उन्होंने अगर वीपीसी पियरिंग या फिर वीपीएन और वॉट एवर, नॉट वीपीसी पियरिंग, वीपीएन और डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट से ऑलरेडी वीपीसी के साथ कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश किया है, तो वो भी यूजिंग दिस एंड पॉइंट कैन एक्सेस द S3, DynamoDB और ऑल अदर सर्विसेज। उनको भी इंटरनेट कनेक्शन की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। देखो रूट कैसे जा रहा है, दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। इनिशियली इट वाज नॉट पॉसिबल, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट डिफरेंस। वीपीसी गेटवे एंड पॉइंट में क्या हो रहा था, गेटवे एंड पॉइंट वीपीसी के बाहर है और आपके कॉर्पोरेट डेटा सेंटर से अगर आपको S3 बकेट एक्सेस करनी है, सो कॉर्पोरेट डेटा सेंटर का ऑलरेडी वीपीएन या डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन यहां तक है वीपीसी के साथ, तो ये कनेक्शन यूज करके वो S3 नहीं एक्सेस कर पाएंगे बिकॉज इट इज आउटसाइड द वीपीसी। लेकिन इंटरफेस एंड पॉइंट इज इनसाइड इट, राइट? सो यूजिंग दिस कनेक्शन आपका कॉर्पोरेट डेटा सेंटर भी S3 और जो भी कुछ पब्लिक सर्विसेज आपको एक्सेस करना है वो कर सकता है। Another difference is that गेटवे एंड पॉइंट में आपको रूट टेबल मॉडिफाई करना पड़ेगा, जस्ट लाइक अभी हमने पियरिंग कनेक्शन में रूट टेबल एंट्री चेंज की थी। Similarly, we need to change the root table entry for gateway endpoint, but interface endpoint, no such things are required. Okay, so these are certain things. So अभी मैं आपको क्या बताऊंगी पहले, तो अभी तो आपने देखा कि यहाँ ये कनेक्शन नहीं मिल रहा है, right? So what I will do now, I will create the endpoint, gateway endpoint, and I will attach that gateway endpoint to my VPC और फिर ये कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश हो जाएगा। ओके, एंड इवन इंटरनेट की जरूरत यहां नहीं पड़ेगी, ये बिकॉज ऑफ इंटरनेट हो रहा है अभी। लेकिन जब भी हम गेटवे एंड पॉइंट और रूट टेबल में एंट्री करेंगे, सो जब भी मेरी वीपीसी की कोई भी सर्विस S3 एक्सेस करना चाहेगी, इन दैट केस इंटरनेट कनेक्शन विल नॉट बी रिक्वायर्ड। ओके, सो लेट मी डू दैट नाउ। व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल गो टू वीपीसी वंस अगेन and this time I will go to endpoint, create endpoint. Okay, so what I will name it, my VPC gateway endpoint. कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आना बहुत जरूरी है, अगर कॉन्सेप्ट समझ गई ना तो कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। सो दिस इज माय VPC gateway endpoint. Okay, so I will go for AWS services. Okay, let me go for this. Okay, now it is right. See, let me give my name. Let us say my VPC gateway endpoint. My VPC gateway endpoint. I want to go for this. Okay, we will first complete this and then we will have a break. I know today it is late little bit. Okay. So I want to go for gateway endpoint, not for interface endpoint. Now I will select the VPC. Which VPC? Delhi VPC. Now, which table you want to modify? So अभी हमारी जरूरत क्या है कि let us say private subnet और public subnet दोनों से भी I want कि होना चाहिए. But let me just check for private subnet because anyway public subnet को हमें वैसे भी पता है कि इंटरनेट कनेक्शन और रोल की वजह से S3 को एक्सेस मिल रहा है. लेकिन जब हम प्राइवेट सबनेट में आ रहे हैं, यहाँ आ रहे हैं, so although the permission is there, it is not giving me anything. So let me use this Delhi private subnet root table. इसमें अभी क्या करना है हमें? इसमें रूट टेबल की एंट्री ऐड करनी है. ओके, एंड जस्ट क्लिक क्रिएट एंड पॉइंट. Okay, now it is showing me successfully created the endpoint. So if I just go to the root table of this, okay, so entry हो चुकी है. Let us check it personally वहां जा. So what I will do now, I will go to your VPC once again, Delhi VPC, and Delhi VPC के सबनेट्स में जाने वाली हूं मैं अभी, प्राइवेट सबनेट में स्पेशली. So let me go to Delhi VPC, सबनेट्स, प्राइवेट सबनेट. ओके, एंड अभी देखो अगर मैं रूट टेबल में आ रही हूं तो देखो अभी क्या हुआ है. सो आई एम गेटिंग this entry. This was for the peering connection folks. Okay, ये peering connection वाला एंट्री है. PCX से जो मार्क हो रहा है वो peering कनेक्शन की एंट्री है और वो हमने peering कनेक्शन के टाइम बनाई थी. लेकिन ये जो एंट्री अभी आपको दिख रही है ये VPC एंड पॉइंट की एंट्री है, VPCE. सो ये हमने मैन्युअली की ही नहीं है. ओके, सो इट गॉट ऑटोमेटिकली क्रिएटेड बिकॉज हमने वहां ऑप्शन सिर्फ सिलेक्ट किया था. दैट्स ऑल. Okay, now if I go here and if I just this is not for internet basically, ये सिर्फ AWS की सर्विसेज है. I think once again I'm missing something. Just hold on. Let me see what did I miss something. Okay, I think yeah, I got the problem. What is the problem? Let me tell you what is the problem. I need to mention the region here. If you do not mention the region in this, it will not work. See, what was the problem this time? See folks, ये छोटी छोटी गलतियां जो हो रही है ना, उससे भी बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हैं हम लोग. मैं भी अभी तक सीख रही हूँ. Okay, so AWS S3 LS, unless and until you mention the region, okay, it will not work. So ये अभी although मुझे सभी buckets बता रहा है, whether it is created in US West 2 or something, because you know this VPC endpoint is region specific. So that I missed to tell you. VPC endpoint is region specific. So ये कब काम करेगा? जब आपका VPC और आपका S3 buckets, okay, वो एक ही रीजन में है, तभी ये काम करेगा. सो यू मस्ट बी वरिंग नाउ कि ये इतने सारे बकेट क्या एक रीजन के? इट इज फाइन, कुछ बकेट्स मुंबई में भी बनाए गए हैं, बट यू नो व्हाट विल हैपन? आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू डू एनी चेंजेस. इट इज जस्ट द लिस्ट, दैट्स ऑल. अगर मुझे कुछ नया बकेट बनाना है तो वो मुंबई में मैं नहीं बना सकती हूँ ये एंड पॉइंट से. ओके, नीदर आई विल बी एबल टू अपलोड द ऑब्जेक्ट इन मुंबई बकेट यूजिंग दैट AWS S3 कमांड्स. ओके, सो otherwise we can upload and download the object in the bucket using the command as well. लेकिन अभी ये सभी चीजें सिर्फ वही बकेट के साथ चलने वाली है जो US West 2 में बनाया है. Okay folks, so this was your gateway endpoint. So now if I take you here, so see, this is the customer's VPC and this is another VPC. So whatever VPCs are there, but see, S3 bucket as well as DynamoDB, ये कैसे एक्सेस हो रहे हैं? गेटवे एंडपॉइंट से. एंड इंटरफेस एंडपॉइंट जो है वो अंदर होता है, VPC के अंदर. ओके, एंड यू कैन सी टू डिफरेंट गेटवे एंडपॉइंट्स आर क्रिएटेड, वन फॉर S3, वन फॉर DynamoDB. लेकिन ये इंटरफेस एंडपॉइंट एक ही होता है जिससे आप बाकी के सर्विसेज भी एक्सेस कर रहे हैं. So either in this example, they have not shown you to access other services. They have simply shown you to access the contents from some other VPC as well. Okay. So now you just go through this once. Okay. This interface endpoint, remember, very important. Interface endpoint is also known as private link interface endpoint, and something we just called it as AWS private link. ठीक है, सिर्फ AWS private link भी बोला जाता है, AWS private link interface endpoint भी बोला जाता है. Now see the diagram. So using this interface endpoint, आप दूसरे VPC को भी access कर रहे हैं, and using the interface endpoint, you can access multiple services as well. Okay, actually multiple endpoints are not required. Let me tell you, using the same interface endpoint as well, you are able to do this one. Okay, we create interface endpoint. The endpoint creates a network interface in the service. Okay, list of supported services you can see from here. And I just request you folks, okay, so this is one of the very important services as well, although not at cloud practitioner essential certification level में शायद इसमें ज्यादा कुछ नहीं पूछा जाएगा, but from your interview perspective, at least the high level overview, what are the basic differences between a gateway endpoint and interface endpoint, that should be very clear. Okay, and what is the transit gateway now? Transit gateway is a hub and spoke type of device. Now see, now अभी जो हमने initially एक concept देखा था कि what if I am having 100 VPCs और ये 100 VPCs एक दूसरे के साथ मुझे communicate करवाने हैं, so क्या मैं 100 बार 1-to-1 connection बनाऊंगी? What is the biggest problem with VPC peering? It is 1-to-1. Okay, it is not 1-to-many, it is 1-to-1. लेकिन अभी मैं अगर एक सर्विस यूज कर रही हूं, दैट इज नोन एज ट्रांजिट गेटवे. सो ये ट्रांजिट गेटवे के साथ हम सब VPC एक एक बार कनेक्ट करेंगे, एंड नाउ दिस 1, 2, 3 and 4 will be able to communicate with each other using this transit gateway. अभी 1-to-1 करने की जरूरत नहीं. ओके, नाउ इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, लेकिन यस, हर एक VPC का एक कनेक्शन ट्रांजिट गेटवे के साथ होना चाहिए. सो इट इज जस्ट लाइक द हब एंड स्पोक. नॉट ओनली दैट, अभी ये ट्रांजिट गेटवे के साथ हम कुछ और भी कर सकते हैं. सी, नाउ लेट अस से दिस इज माय कॉर्पोरेट डेटा सेंटर. This is my corporate network. And these are multiple VPCs in my AWS. अभी ये VPCs कहीं भी हो सकते हैं, different region, same account, different availability zone, wherever. So I can create a transit gateway, and now I can establish a VPN connection or maybe the direct connection to this transit gateway. और ये transit gateway already सभी VPC के साथ है. So from using this transit gateway, even my corporate data center can access my VPCs. और ये VPC भी एक दूसरे को access कर पाएंगे. And not only that, they are getting accessible from the corporate data center, provided you have a VPN connection or DX connection, which is terminated at the transit gateway. Okay, so this is what the diagram is. Please go through this as well in detail. Okay, that's all. So with this, we have completed this connectivity options. Now let's have a break, 15 minutes break. And after the break, we will continue with the further topics. Okay. So it is almost 5:26 now. So we will just take this session today for till 6:15 maybe. Okay, 6:15. So anyway, let's have a break. Will it be fine? 15 minutes? या 10 minutes चलेगा?
मैम 10 मिनट इज ओके और यू कैन कंटिन्यू.
ओके, सो 10 मिनट्स में ब्रेक लेते हैं और भी जितने ज्यादा सर्विसेज आज कंप्लीट हो सकते हैं उतने कर लेते हैं. ओके, 6:15 तक ले लेंगे चाहे तो. फाइन. सो आफ्टर द ब्रेक आई विल कंटिन्यू विद द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. ओके, सो लेट अस सी यू आफ्टर 10 minutes देन. ओके, थैंक यू. Hello everyone, are you there? Please confirm so that I can start. Please raise your hands. Gaurav, Yash, Shubham, Abhay, are you not there? Okay, let me start, folks. Now we have completed this connectivity options. Now let me start with securing and troubleshooting your network. Now see, it is again the same thing. Network access control list and security group that we have seen multiple times. Okay, so it is just again a quick revision. Okay, before going for that, let me quickly give you the demonstration so that together it will be very clear to you how the security group and network access control list work. So we have seen both these things. Network access control list is subnet level firewall. Again, a revision, huh? Subnet level firewall, and it is stateless. Security group is instance level firewall, and it is stateful. Multiple times we have seen this. So I will quickly give you a demonstration. And with that, one more thing we need to clear. What is the default network access control list and what is the custom network access control list? So now if I take you to my network, my account, and if I just go to my default VPC here, I'm having multiple VPCs rather. Okay, let me just go to the default VPC to show this demonstration. It will be easy, it will be quick. So if I go to default VPC, in my default VPC, these are multiple subnets. Okay, these are multiple subnets. Now if I just see, these are the subnets of my default VPC. And let me take any subnet for the time being, any subnet. So if I just select this and let me select the, okay, let me select this US West 2A, this subnet. Yeah, that is the one which was selected. So if I go here, this subnet is having multiple rules, right? So 172. Anyway, we are nothing to do with rule here. I will take you to the network access control list. And this is the default network access control list. What this default network access control list does, it permits everything. See, the rule number is 100. All traffic from all protocol anywhere is allowed. And the default rule means if something doesn't match with this, then everything will be denied. Okay. So anyway, this is something which is going to allow all the traffic by default. So this is the inbound rule, and similarly outbound rule. Again, all traffic, all protocol, all range to any destination is allowed. So what is the default network access control list now? Default NACL. It allows all inbound traffic and it allows all outbound traffic as well. Everything is allowed, just like the internet gateway. It is an open door, I will say, for the subnet. First of all, network access control lists are subnet level firewall. So in my VPC, if I'm having subnet, let us say this is my public subnet and this is my private subnet. So these subnets will have something which is known as network access control list. And this is going to protect my entire subnet. But the default nature is that it is going to allow everything inside and it is going to allow everything outside as well. And then it will go to the EC2 instance, and then comes the security group. Okay, so let us quickly go to that presentation, and then I will show you the demonstration as well. So if I just go to this networking module once again, see, network access control list and security group. This is my public subnet. This is the traffic which is coming from 0.0.0.0/0. That is the internet. Okay, that is the internet. So once the packet comes here, it will first go to the internet gateway, because internet gateway is going to work with the public subnet. Fine. So once it enters the subnet, once it enters the VPC rather, okay, and before it enters the subnet, this is my subnet. The packet has gone inside the VPC, but it is about to go to the EC2 instance, then there is a fire. This is the network access control.